Roman is the biggest bad guy character in professional wrestling.
When's the last time you got laid?
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Like, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Can we tell the truth about Dusty sooner or later?
Bro,
like-
less people wanted that than are currently watching our streams.
And you know Vince, and you still think, are these true? It's like...
Welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
What's up, people? This is Producer Boy. I don't know what I'm doing, but nobody else wanted to go live. And I'm not working, and I'm not doing anything, so I'm going to do this. And now I'm here, trying to go do a Danny Fast Forward type show, but looking at my notes, this was a 3-hour show, so I don't really know how this is going to go down. I'm trying to get this done in 20 minutes, maybe, but I got a lot of notes. And I don't know why I sat here for 3 hours watching this show, but I did. I wish one of the guys was here. I don't know how they do this every week, every day. What the hell is happening? What's up, James? I like this. Okay, I can get used to that, but that's very distracting because I'm also looking at my notes, but also the banners. I wish I had a producer boy, and now I realize that I'm such an integral part of this group by doing this by myself. And I get no respect around here. But anyways, we started off. I'm not going to do the best part of the show first because it's very confusing with the notes that I have. If it wasn't just me, I would say, let's do that. But because it's just me, I'm going to go with the Cody Rhodes promo, which started the show. I'm just hitting you with the notes. I'm not giving you a rundown on everything this guy said. Sucker and succotash for 15 minutes. I'm not doing it. So I'm just going to give you my notes, and here they are. Cody blames Kevin Owens for not being cleared to compete. First of all, this is already dumb because obviously you're cleared to compete. What do you mean you're not cleared to compete? That means you can't do anything because minutes later, him and Kevin Owens are getting physical. So in kayfabe, you're cleared to compete, or not kayfabe, whatever. You understand what I'm saying. The feud feels stale as KO has repeatedly failed. Okay, yeah, this is one of my notes. KO has gone for the title 427 times in the last 4 years. Twice, well, at least once against Cody Rhodes. And now we're here for a second time where he's going against Cody Rhodes at the Royal Rumble. Nobody cares. They had to spice it up by making it a ladder match, which I'm cool with. I just don't know how. Actually, Cody and Kevin Owens do have a history of really good moments in ladder matches. So the match itself is probably pretty good, and it kind of makes up for the fact that you know that Kevin Owens is not winning. Drew McIntyre interrupts after Cody goes on and on about KO being a threat and yada, yada, yada. He comes out, he hugs Cody, leaving me confused, leaving the audience confused. Still don't really even understand what the point of that was, but it took everybody off guard. Cody doubts Drew's intentions, calling him out. Drew cryptically warns Cody to watch his back. So he hugs Cody. He's basically just telling him, I got your back. And Cody doesn't believe him. He thinks that he's just doing it to get a shot at the title. And that may be the case. Who knows? I don't know. Because Drew is doing this whole thing where everybody who's anti-Bloodline should join forces. I don't really know where they're going with that. It is interesting. I hope they do have some sort of a storyline, like an end goal for that, other than just Drew teaming up with, or trying to team up with, giving him something to do by having him team up with or get people on his side that are anti-Bloodline. The question is Drew aligned with Kevin Owens, or is he positioning himself to challenge Cody down the line? I think they're trying to make it look like he was with Kevin Owens, because when he warns him to watch his back, Kevin Owens attacks him from behind and he walks away and doesn't do anything about it. But I don't really think there's a connection between Drew and Kevin Owens. I just think they're leading people on. I think Drew is doing his own thing. So with The Rock's WrestleMania status uncertain, could Drew be set up as Cody's opponent. So I don't think necessarily that Drew is going to be Cody's opponent at WrestleMania, but I do think that Triple H has done a good job at kind of setting up feuds for that just in case moment. I see James DeSanti with my okay. Anyway, yeah, so there is that sorry, I got very distracted by that. Now I see why you guys get distracted when I pop in. Yeah, so with The Rock may or may not be appearing at WrestleMania. I was saying Triple H does a very good job at setting up feuds outside of the main one that he wants, just in case somebody gets injured, somebody can't be there, something bad happens. Triple H seems to always have like a plan B, no pun intended, a plan B, C, just in case he can't do the main one that he wants to do. Like Stone Cold not being there, he had The Undertaker. It worked out perfectly fine. If The Rock weren't available last year, or I forget what happened last year. Something happened last year. Oh, CM Punk was injured. But CM Punk was injured, and he still had all these side plans. He still included Seth in all of these really important matches and made him feel just as important. And he kind of, he veered off without just like adding Seth to the main event or anything like that. He made it so that he's involved, but he doesn't necessarily have to change the plans that he had in mind. So, I mean, that is an option where Drew kind of has to go against Cody for the title at some point. Maybe Drew is down the line the person that takes the title from Cody, because it seems like Drew is staying on SmackDown, and Gunther's title is staying on Raw. Or maybe they probably are doing a vice versa situation because Raw is going to be the main show. So I can see a world where Cody and Gunther switch shows, or at least the title switch shows, whatever the case is. Or all my ideas are dumb, and they're just setting up for Elimination Chamber, where you just have setting up for Elimination Chamber, where you have all these top guys in the Elimination Chamber. So you have your Drews, your Seths, your Punks, all these guys that have been feuding for the past year, kind of come together in this Elimination Chamber that would make sense to them. I don't really know, obviously, because you have Gunther as champion, so you don't want to leave him out. And I'm not sure. It's confusing, but it's not the worst. Anyway, so we move on to Shinsuke versus Andrade. Andrade is treated as an afterthought. They even mention Andrade lost 2 months ago to Shinsuke prior to him winning the United States Championship. And now here he is again, losing to Shinsuke Nakamura. And I think the title switch is definitely happening. Yeah, but is it going to be like a Charlotte like handoff, like a switch thing, or are they just going to take Cody and put him on Raw, and then have Gunther or whoever is holding the title and put him on SmackDown? Which I don't necessarily think is a bad. I mean, I would much rather just have the person obviously just move with the title instead of just like having the title switch over. Yeah, switching brands seems like the best move. I just don't know how you do it without SmackDown just getting the weaker roster. But I don't think they care. I don't think there's a way to do it, and I don't think they care about it. So yeah, so Shinsuke and Andrade. Sorry, I was saying that Andrade, he's treated like an afterthought. He lost 2 months ago to Shinsuke, and he lost again tonight. I don't really understand what to do with Shinsuke, because he comes out, he's got this really good music. I don't know if this has been his music for, I don't know when the last time I watched the show, but his music is great now as a heel, so the crowd is not singing along with it. He looks great. How do I get this off the screen? Shinsuke looks great. Andrade, to be honest, he looks great too. His intro is cool. I mean, it's not anything crazy, but he looks like a star, and he wrestles great. And him and Shinsuke have like a good chemistry, but I don't know what the point of this match was. They did make note that if Andrade wins, he can get a title shot at the United States Championship, which I forget what AEW calls that, but they didn't necessarily call it that. They just said, oh yeah, if he wins, he's probably going to get a title shot. Most of the first half of this match was in picture-in-picture, which just shows to go. It goes to show the lack of interest in either these guys or this title or that WWE has. I'm not sure. It might just be a lack of interest in Andrade. I don't know. I really don't know because they're trying to hype this up with LA Knight and Shinsuke at the Rumble, but they have half this match in picture-in-picture. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Maybe I'm reading into that. Andrade dominates for most of the match with a bunch of several near falls. They're really good near falls too, but I feel like it undermines the whole gimmick change in Nakamura, where he's like this evil, creepy character. I wouldn't say he's a dominant heel, but with that sort of character, you kind of have to be a dominant heel, and they're going for this heel that like sneaks away with a win at the very last minute, which is what happened in this match when after getting his ass beat for 15 minutes, they're at the top of the turnbuckle, and Nakamura slips out of the way, and Andrade hits his head on the top of a ring post, which kind of makes Andrade look dumb. And Shinsuke hits his finisher, match is over, and that's it. That's Andrade. That's Andrade's feud with Shinsuke. He keeps getting one over on this guy. Right after the match, LA Knight interrupts Nakamura's victory celebration. He runs after him. So this is when this happened. My initial reaction was LA Knight's definitely winning. No Bailey on SmackDown tonight. You're right. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah. So initially, when LA Knight comes out to attack Shinsuke, my first thought. Well, I mean, I've been kind of saying it for a couple weeks now. I thought LA Knight was just going to win the title back from Shinsuke, but there's a promo that LA Knight does later on. I guess we can talk about it later. He does a promo later on that makes me think otherwise. But anyway, I'll jump to the DIY versus Motor City Machine Gun match. Was not excited about this at all. I don't know if it's like a bias thing I have against TNA or if it's just the Motor City Machine Guns are old. Sorry. I know we had them on the show. They're not watching, but that's what I had in the back of my head. Motor Shitty Machine. I'm sure someone has made that joke. I'm sure a wrestler has made that joke. But Motor City, their entrance is actually really cool. All of the fireworks seem to match the beats of their song, which I thought was really cool. I don't know how long they've been probably been doing that forever, but I thought it was cool. Anyway, so all four competitors trade. There's the matches, whatever, for a little bit, and then towards the end, there's a moment where all four competitors are trading elbows and punches in a fast-paced exchange, and it finally ends with DIY hitting synchronized super kicks, which was a cool moment because they're all laid flat, and then the crowd is chanting, "This is awesome," which it was. It was kind of cool. I think I still can't really get behind Motor City. They kind of just hopped in and won the titles, and they just kind of like WWE kind of did the thing where AEW kind of does, where they kind of just showed up, and you just assume that everybody knows who they are, and the WWE audience is not the crowd to do that with, because I mean it is. I mean, obviously, I'll say I'm wrong there in the sense of like the crowd doesn't seem to care that they don't know who they are, but I do think it is kind of weird that WWE is pretending that people know who they were prior to this. Anyway, Motor City Machine Guns showcased their signature double team offense, delivering. So there were a few moves. I can't really narrow them down, but there's a lot of double team moves that kind of proved me wrong in the sense of like they're not really that old. They're moving pretty quickly for their age. Not even for their age, just like. I mean, they look super young. If you told me they were like 30s, I would believe you. they move faster than I would say they move faster than like AJ Styles, and AJ Styles is probably older than both of them. Yeah, that was that. And okay, so then towards the end of the match, DIY was on the verge of losing with the Motor City Machine Guns dominating. The match was interrupted by Pretty Deadly and Legado del Fantasma. They had a promo earlier in the night between these two tag teams that I didn't really understand what the drama was, maybe because I didn't watch last week, but it was basically it ended with DIY saying, hey, if you help us win this, they were talking to Pretty Deadly. Hey, if you help us win this, we'll give you a title shot if we walk out as champs tonight. So Pretty Deadly comes out, tries to help them. Legado del Fantasma comes out to stop them. And in trying to stop them, they ended up interfering, causing a chaotic brawl, and there was a DQ, and the match didn't have an ending. Great. I don't know. Then what do we got? Then Nia Jax versus Naomi for the women's title. So at this point, I was just assuming that we were going to find out who attacked. I thought we were going to find out who attacked Jade, but we did not. And there was no sign of Tiffany all night, as there was like a backstage promo earlier in the night with Nia, where she's wondering where Tiffany is, and she hadn't seen her, and I thought that was way too obvious. So I didn't think she was actually going to come in and cash in. I missed the first half of this match because I was trying to go grab stuff for my camera, which I still haven't gotten to work. But that is besides the point. I came back, and there was a big moment where Naomi counters Nia's top rope move with like this insane midair flip. I don't even know what she was. I don't know what anybody was going for, but Naomi. Well, I mean, Nia kind of did all of the work, but Naomi's trying to attack Naomi. No, Nia is trying to attack Naomi. Jesus. And Naomi counters with like a flip in midair, which I don't know. It was very. If the announcers didn't tell me what happened, I wouldn't have known. It was kind of like I don't know. I want to use the Randy Orton RKO on Evan Bourne, where it was like, did that actually just? There was another RKO that I think there was like. I think it was like a. Oh no! It was the Randy Orton chokeslam RKO situation where the fans didn't really even seem to know what the hell happened, but it was still cool once we kind of got explained that he hit him with an RKO. Anyway, so Tiffany eventually comes down. This is before the match ends. The crowd's going insane because they think that she's going to cash in. But what she does is she pulls the ref over to the side, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to cash in." Da, da, da. The ref's confused. She hits the ref in the head. The ref's out, and then everyone's like, "What the hell is she doing?" Then she turns back to the ring, and she bonks Naomi on the head. Naomi's out. Nia hits her with a finisher. 1, 2, 3. I don't even know where the second ref just came out so quickly, but that's besides the point. Whatever. If this was AEW, we'd still be waiting for the friggin' ref to come out right now. And Aubrey would be in the camera like, ooh. Anyway. Nia wins. If they did it really, I mean, this, it was a little convoluted, but I do think it was still pretty good. I did think they probably would, I thought they would wait for like the big Raw show. I didn't think they were going to do this on the SmackDown before the big Raw show, but it worked out. So yeah, Nia wins the match. She's about to celebrate, and then Bianca runs in. Nia starts attacking Bianca, and then right as Nia's about to hit Bianca with her finisher, Tiffany hits Nia with the briefcase, leaving everybody confused. Nobody knows what the hell's happening. Then she waits for Bianca to get up and do her finisher. Tiffany cashes in after she throws Bianca out of the ring. She hits her moonsault, which later on we can compare moonsaults with Jacob Fatu. She hits her moonsault, 1, 2, 3. Crowd seems happy. I don't know if they were happy because they liked Tiffany or just because they were there for a cash-in. It could be one or the other. We'll see what happens. I don't. To be honest, I didn't even know Nia was champion until I turned on the TV, and I feel like I've had this conversation with a bunch of the guys in our group chat, but I had no idea. Apparently, she's been champion for 5 months. You couldn't have paid me to tell you who the champion was on SmackDown. I'm sorry. And the fact that it was Nia, I don't know. So SmackDown is just getting, well, I would say for the main title, for the women's championships, Liv is obviously the more important. Danny, you can sue me, but Liv is doing an extremely, I don't know what the word is. She's doing a really good job with what they've given her. Liv, I'm talking about. I guess you could say Nia is also doing well, but Liv is obviously off the charts. And the fact that there's 2 women's champions, it's when you have somebody like Liv who's doing as good as a job as she is, it kind of craps on the opposing women's champion when you're in a situation like this. And the gap was clear there. And I don't really necessarily know if that's going to change now because Tiffany is still, young and up and coming. I don't know if the gap there is going to change. I still think Liv is going to, unless she loses the title, the gap there is still going to be pretty wide. Sorry, I'll read it now. Bayley warned Nia Jax that Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in on Nia, and now Tiffany is the WWE. Yep. Bayley was the WWE Women's Champion before Nia Jax, and Nia Jax beat her at SummerSlam. That is correct. I do wonder. I would imagine there's 2 ways to go about this. You can either have the Nia Jax versus Tiffany rematch, either at the Rumble. I guess that's probably where you go. And then do you do Tiffany versus Bayley at the Chamber, or do you wait until WrestleMania? But also, is Bayley versus Tiffany a big enough match to hold at WrestleMania? Or any of those 3 characters, Nia, Bayley, and Tiffany, or any of them in the title picture big enough to be at WrestleMania is another question, to be honest. And that's that. I don't know where my notes went, but before the main event, there was a backstage promo. Oh, damn, I did a terrible job at using these banners. You guys stink. There was a moment. Yeah, that's true. Bayley is, but right. You're not wrong. Anyway, so before the main event, LA Knight comes out. No, he doesn't come out. There's a backstage promo with LA Knight. He basically says, yeah, no. Talk to me, or whatever he does. I'm stone cold, but I'm not. If you smell what LA Knight is cooking. He comes out. He doesn't come out. It's backstage. I don't know who he's talking to. He's talking to the camera. It's a backstage promo. And he says the exact opposite of what I originally said, which was that they were going to have him win the U.S. title to keep him out of the main title picture. But it looks like, and after this promo, I changed my mind. I originally thought he was going to win the title back from Shinsuke at the Rumble. But now that he's so adamant about becoming the U.S. champion and entering the Royal Rumble and he specifically said he was going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, which is never going to happen ever in a million years unless half of the roster disappears onto an island somewhere on a show called Lost, and we don't see them for 10 years. It's the only way that LA Knight is going to be in the main event of WrestleMania, unfortunately. But because he was so adamant about this, it makes me think that he's actually going to lose the U.S. title, because why would he be so hell-bent I don't think he would. I get that he has to say that he wants to go. You want to go for the main title, yada yada yada. But that's not how I saw this. I think maybe having him on his own, going for the main event, is a little more interesting than having him go for the U.S. And maybe that's the reason that he got taken out of the U.S. because maybe he's going to be in like an elimination chamber or something like that to be in the mix, which is fine. That's cool. I think the chambers this year are going to be really cool because there's just a crap ton of stars. Punk is back. Drew's there. They had their feud. Gunther's there. Cody's there. There's so many different like mixes you can do in the two chambers this year. I feel like I'm more excited about the chamber than I am the Rumble, but whatever. That's a whole other story. So yeah. So my take is LA Knight's not winning the U.S. title anymore. I think he's going to be solo. Not solo. I think he's going to be by himself. No championship until after Mania. Maybe he goes for the U.S. title, or maybe he goes for the IC title if he's switched over to a different show. I don't know how they're going to do things, but I don't think he's going to be the main champion. Anyway, we go to the main event. Main event is the new Bloodline versus Jimmy J and Sami Zayn. Actually, earlier in the night, there's just so much. I'm going to be done in less than 40 minutes. But, yeah, whatever. Earlier in the night, Paul Heyman comes out and, God dang it. Oh, hold on, people. We're here. Hold on. Oh, no, we're not. We're not here. Anyway, we're spitballing. Paul Heyman came out before, and he had like Paul Heyman came out, and he basically started talking about what's been going on and how Roman Reigns is gonna beat Solo, and it's not in I can't find it in my notes, but there's a point where he starts name dropping all of the members of the new Bloodline, and he calls them all animals, and it was borderline. He borderline wanted to call them thugs. I think he stopped himself from saying it because he realized that it would be an issue, but he called them animals, and he said that Jacob Fatu barely. Oh, that's what he said. He said most of them don't belong in the United States, and that Jacob Fatu barely belongs outside of a penitentiary or a jail cell. I thought that was a little weird. I don't know. It was just a strange, like, I don't know who okayed this promo. I mean, it's fine, like whatever. I'm not the PC police, but I did think it was kind of weird that he was just calling all these Samoans animals, and they don't belong in the country, and like, it sounded like a heel promo, to be honest. And then Solo comes out and basically just says if he wins, he gets Heyman too, which right away, either I'm thinking if they're going to do a twist, they're going to have Heyman help Solo win, or this just straight up means that Solo is going to lose and that's it. Which brings me to the main event. It's a very like house show type tag team match. It's not anything crazy. It's not the greatest match of all time. The real main event was the Tiffany Stratton cash in. It happened at the 10 o'clock mark. They knew that this third hour, or they know that this third hour isn't watched by many people, which is fine. That's just the structure of the show. But I guess we could just go with the highlights for Tama Tonga. When he gets tagged in, the entire crowd does the yeah. And I just think it's funny that he's turned it into something that is Solo did win the main event. No, but he was talking about Monday's main event. Solo was saying if he beats Roman on Raw, that Heyman is his. Sorry if I said it incorrectly. Anyway, so the match throughout the match, Tama Tonga, he gets tagged in. The crowd starts doing the yay, and normally I would say this is ridiculous, but the fact that it's gotten over is hilarious. Like, it started off as a joke. Like, I can't believe this guy. Like, this guy is a botch within himself, and somehow he's made it pop. I don't know if he's necessarily made it popular, but he hasn't stopped to the point where he wasn't affected by the making fun of it. He just kept doing it, and then it became a thing. And then I guess you could also say the same for Jacob Fatu's "I Love You" solo, but I mean, it's a little cooler, and Jacob Fatu is a little cooler. So pretty much whatever Jacob says people are gonna soak it up. People are gonna love it no matter what. I don't think Solo's winning either, and the reason is really is this main event. But I also think they're setting up for. I mean, we can get to it when I get to it, but I think they're setting up for something else at WrestleMania, and I also think there's like a big appearance on Raw after that match. So just to keep going, I love you, Solo. I was just saying that I think it's great that Jacob and Tama Tonga have turned the phrases that they were mocked over, and they've turned into fan favorite catchphrases. I don't know if it was by design or if it's just it's just a natural crowd reaction, and they've just run with it. They've realized that even though they were getting shit on for it, it's working. So they're just going to keep it going, which is great. Jey Uso was the hot tag. It just kind of shows that even with Sami on the team, with Jimmy on the team, he is clearly the most popular out of all the 6 guys. Even Solo, who's a heel, and he's going against the biggest guy in the company on Monday, Jey Uso is still top tier out of all the 6 guys. I don't know what they're going to do with him. He's in like a weird spot where he's super popular, but his matches aren't great, and I wouldn't say his promos are bad, but I don't know if he can keep up with the top guys in the company, unfortunately, even though I don't want to put him in the LA Knight universe, but there is like this weird thing where it's like, okay, these guys have the talent, but we don't know what to do with them. They're really good. They get really good crowd reactions, but because the guys above them are so much better or so much more entertaining and captivating, it's really hard to figure out what to do with a Jey Uso or an LA Knight. I mean, LA Knight, whatever. Anyway, I say, I love you, Bailey. Does she answer? Let me know if that works. I'll try it sometime when next time I go to a show. Yeah. So Jacob's towards the end. Jacob Fatu does his moonsault. Basically, my note is just that he's got one of the best moonsaults in the company, maybe out of everybody, to be honest. I mean, Tiffany's is really nice, but just the sight of like this 400 pound man doing a backflip so high up in the sky, it's just beautiful to see. Maybe Charlotte, I don't know. I might get kicked off the podcast if I say anything nice about Charlotte, unfortunately. Athleticism is crazy. He's got fluid execution. It's a standout moment in the match. And then final note was basically these guys, the Bloodline wins. It was a nothing match. My camera is blurry. Sorry. I love you, Bailey. In my mind. Oh, now you got to try it in person. See what she says. It might work, dude. Anyway, so basically my note would be that after the Bloodline wins, I think it's pretty obvious. The Bloodline won tonight. I think it's pretty obvious because of WWE's 50-50 booking and how they usually run things. Roman's definitely winning on Raw, on the big Netflix Raw. And because it's a big Netflix Raw, I think The Rock is going to be there. So I'm assuming that after Roman beats Solo, they have their celebration. The Rock's music hits. Either they do a stare down, either The Rock attacks him, or The Rock just shakes his hand, and it leaves you kind of like, what the fuck? One or the other. Maybe because they don't know he's going to be at WrestleMania, he doesn't attack him. He might just shake his hand. He might make you think that he's going to attack Roman, but he doesn't, because you don't want to set up a match that isn't happening. But also, if they're setting up that match, what's the move here? Are we doing Roman and Rock night one, and then whoever wins goes against Cody? I'm down, but I don't think Rock can do 2 matches. I don't. It would be cool, because then Rock gets a win over Roman, and then Rock loses to Cody. A little 50-50 booking there. But then does Roman get his get back from The Rock later on, and when? And how do you do it in an entertaining way? Would anybody care about Rock versus Roman 2? You know? Anyway, I'm going to go. Nobody cares, except for Chris. And that's really all that matters. I love you, Chris. I love you, Chris. That was for you. I'm going to head out. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. I probably am. But I got this done in 36 minutes. And I actually watched the show. And I wasn't coughing. And I wasn't sneezing. I wasn't faking that I watched the show. Because I know there's some guys on here. I know some of you. Come on here and you BS the whole review, because I sit here as producer boy and I watch you struggle. But I didn't struggle here because I made notes and I watched 3 hours of this garbage. Anyways, follow us on social media. We got a couple things coming out. We got a documentary about a up-and-coming wrestler coming out, some BTS of that documentary coming out. So we got 2 videos coming out anytime soon. Hopefully they're soon. And hopefully it becomes a regular thing that every few months we do some up-and-coming wrestler. And if you know of any in the New York area, either let them know or tell us in the comments who you would like us to do these documentaries on. You didn't forget anything. Thank you, Chris. You're the man for making me feel good about myself. And I couldn't have done this show without you, Chris. Maybe James, but he's not here anymore. Or he is, and he's just laughing about how I'm doing this review right now. But I will say that, I don't know. That's it. That's really all I got. What am I missing? Social media. I think James may or may not. I might even be here because I haven't slept at a decent time in the past 3 weeks because I haven't been working because the film and TV industry is going to hell. But anyway, I might be up. James might be up. He might be doing, I want to say Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty, one of these shows that starts at 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. And he may be doing a review. And I might be here to produce it. Thanks, Chris. And that's all that matters. But I need you to tell me that I do better than most of the people on this podcast so that I can show them that you said it and prove to them that I do things around here. Anyway, that is all I am missing, I believe. We got a few videos coming out. We got a few things coming out. We might go to another House of Glory show and get some BTS stuff there. That's not like the documentary. Maybe we got a couple interviews. We're trying to do cool stuff around here because the podcast is cool, but we got to do more stuff for the channel. Chris, if you have any ideas on what you want to see on this channel, you let us know. We might do some top 5 videos. We might do some in-person videos with wrestlers. We might do some interviews. I can't think of other things that we could do, but let us know what you would watch. Maybe we'll make the video. I'm learning more about this YouTube nonsense and how long videos need to be and the inner workings of this damn thing. So hopefully we can start. Big fan of Denise Salcedo. You know what, Chris? Let me tell you something about Denise Salcedo. I'm going to cut myself off because whatever. Anyway, we tried. We reached out. I'll just leave it at that, Chris. We didn't get an answer. But anyway, And then we saw her in person. And yeah. Anyway, I'm going to head out. This has been too much. I should have ended 6 minutes ago. This is Markdown Podcast. I'm never going to do this again. Probably, most likely. And I can't find the outro.